We've got some neighborhood drama here. I had been president of the HOA, and there's a person who argues very much during meetings, which is no problem with me because I like to debate. But she wanted to take it a step further and say that it was harassment, and she wanted a protective order, and that's what we were in court for. And I felt like it was easy enough where I did not need an attorney. So I defended myself, and my wife sat next to me because I did absolutely nothing wrong to this person. The magistrate did not seem to respect me at all. Of course, I'm not an attorney, okay? But afterwards, I took a look at what his credentials were, and he's not he never went to law school. He never passed a bar exam. So he doesn't have any real credentials as far as being a lawyer or a Juris Doctorate. But every time that I would say something, number one, he would not make eye contact with me. Number two, anytime I objected to anything, it was like I was bothering him and bothering the proceedings. When the other attorney objected or wanted to introduce evidence, everything was fine. But when I did it, it was wrong. But this one witness who conspired with this lady who started this protective order suit got up on the stand, and she happens to be another neighbor. I was asking her questions, and as I was asking her questions, she was getting louder and louder and louder and more belligerent. And I was waiting for the judge to stop her, for her obnoxious behavior. And she started all of a sudden yelling personal things. You're disgusting. You're despicable. You are, just constantly yelling at me in the court. And I'm looking at the judge, and he's staring at her, doing nothing. So then I said, Your Honor, and then he says, you let her step down. You can step down, something to that effect. And as she got out of her seat at the witness stand, continually, you're disgusting. You're despicable. So I looked up at her, and I said, she was very close to my face. I said, you're a fibber. Then Greg Rowe, who is the husband of the plaintiff, stands up right behind me and yells out, he just said the F-bomb. So I turned to him and I said, you need to go back to prison where you were. And then the next thing I know, Pop, he had his head down because I turned around and was looking at him. The magistrate picked his head up like he didn't know what was going on. And then Greg Rowe continued running his mouth, and this lady continued running hers. And then the next thing I know, Pop is saying, 5 days, contempt of court, you. And then he pointed to Greg Rowe. Then he points to me and says, you too, get up here. And I'm in a state of shock.
Was that basically the only outburst in the whole hearing?
Yes.
So, because usually you get a warning. Hey, if you do it again, there's going to be contempt of court. You didn't get a warning? This was the one time, and that's it?
No, sir. One thing. The first time, there was no warning at all. No order in the court, nothing. No, it was humiliating. It was embarrassing. I was issued, I had to go in there, take all my clothes off. They strip searched it. The people at the jail were very professional. They were very good. But you got strip searched. I was in a shower. You took a shower, then got out, and they give you a pair of underwear, orange socks, orange flip-flops, orange pants, orange shirt, a blanket, a sheet of some type, to put on the mat, because you got to get a mat, and then you go to your jail, you go to your cell, which is not the best place in the world. Cinder block, and there's a toilet in there, no toilet seat, toilet, and you're not even given a toothbrush or toothpaste, nothing. I didn't brush my teeth for 2 days. And then if you don't have your medication in the medication bottles, you don't get any medication. I was without my medication for almost a day and a half. Since I was put in jail, I didn't have my blood pressure medicine. And me and Gregro were in the same cell. We got along, fine. I mean, when you're in there as a prisoner, I guess. I mean, what else are you going to do? There's no television, no radio, no books, nothing. And we're sitting in there, and, we're looking at each other. This is ridiculous. These guys have committed these crimes all around us. We haven't done anything. No due process, no civil rights hearing, nothing.
Wow. So what's your next step? What you going to do?
Well, my next step is I'm going to get an attorney this time, and I'm going to appeal it. I'm going to appeal the decision, and I'm going to file a grievance against this magistrate because this was ridiculous the way this whole thing played out. It was uncalled for. If I committed a crime, a real crime, robbery, assault, battery, anything, I would resign from the board. I'd resign from everything. I would never, ever want to represent the great citizens of this county under any circumstances if I had committed a crime. But this was ridiculous. This was an arbitrary attempt, in my opinion, to embarrass me, my family. Why, I don't know. But it was ridiculous. It was arbitrary. It was capricious. And I think it was personal because people in that courthouse saw the way I was treated during the trial.
Have you heard anybody say you should be removed from the board because of this? I mean, I haven't heard that. Have you? I mean...
No, I have not.
Okay,
I have not.
So.
No one has said that. But there are always people. There are always people, and rightly so. I mean, you get your picture on the mugshot. I mean, how humiliating is that? Number one, I'm a public official with a very important position, and then secondly, what crime? I didn't commit any crime.
Well,
and it's humiliating to have gone through that process.